What's going on, guys? So we're back yet again. We're finally going to be talking about Welcome to Derry, Chapter 1, I'm assuming is what's going to be called because, of course, that's what we saw at the very end of this latest episode. But I'm going to be getting into my review, my thoughts, and the connections we saw in here and how everything's going to lead up to it, Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 for the movies. But overall, it was really interesting, especially with the connections that we got to see and also how we were able to see how other characters are going to be born. So again, if you saw episode 8, you know. But going into this, let me go ahead and say this. It was really interesting seeing Holleran in this series because at the very end of episode 8, we see where he is going to be leaving to go to London for a friend of his that runs a hotel in London, aka The Shining. It took me a minute to remember that since it's been a while since I've seen The Shining, but overall, I think that was good to see a connection and also what Holleran was able to do, especially him being uh, a medium or psychic, however you want to classify it. But it was really interesting to see his past and also how he dealt with Pennywise, how he was in the military, and also being able to go up against this, this universal figure. But at the same time, we also got to see how which really shocked me. Which again, I was able to kind of piece two and two together that Will is Mike's father, and how his family somehow took over the Native American lady's farm. Which again doesn't make much sense to me because they could have owned another farm instead of having hers. I don't see the reason why she offered it to him and a seat on there due to I guess their experiences. So didn't really make much sense to me on that, but again, a lot of people are probably going to be assuming that, oh, Ronnie and Will are Mike's parents, which again, it is what it is. I really don't care. And then also, one of the biggest things was seeing confirmation that Marge is Richie's mother, which I think a lot of people, including myself, was like, oh my God, I can't believe they showed one of the best characters in it to, especially everybody was like, well, I kind of figured since she said we're going to kill this, clown. And it's like, dude, just because she says that doesn't mean it would have been his mother. But either way, it makes it better because it's confirmed that that is his mother. And how we saw in one of the earlier episodes that one kid that passed away that was Jewish, more than likely, I think his older brother is probably going to be either Stanley's father, maybe, to continue that lineage for what we see in it chapter 1 and chapter 2, and then also going into the whole thing of one of the biggest surprises we saw was, of course, for Ingrid, Pennywise's daughter, how she finally was able to realize to a certain degree that Pennywise is not her father anymore, and how the actual entity, it was able to manipulate her father and take over him and use his demeanor and his job to be able to scare and take children. And what we also saw to where the older version of his daughter finally got to see Bev. We got to see younger Bev again at the asylum ward where her mother passed away at the very end. So that was really interesting to see. So I think it's very interesting. Almost everything was connecting to this universe and seeing how much of a threat Pennywise is and being able to see how he was able to spread everything. But what got me was, and maybe I'm the only one, where was the adults? Where was all the adults in town? Like, do they just, disappear or what? That's what kind of made me go, huh? Like, where exactly everybody go? Because obviously he took all the kids. He was going to feed on them or use them, for whatever when he took all of them from the school. And I will say it was cool how he was able to freeze everything. And I'm kind of wondering if Lily is a descendant or a ancestor to, let's say, Bill and Georgie, or maybe Eddie or something like that. I don't know. I was kind of wondering if we were going to be seeing any kind of descendants, maybe from either Ben or Beverly. I think, honestly, it's kind of good we didn't, but it also got confirmed that Pennywise has the ability to possibly go back in time and manipulate time, which is so crazy because you would think with his abilities he would be able to stop for whatever happens to him, but maybe he can't, but he tries to. So that's kind of a theory as well. And I know there's a lot of theories out there that people are trying to say, oh, well, it's connected to the Stranger Things universe, which again has not been confirmed, or with The Shining. So it has been confirmed with The Shining. It's been confirmed with other things within the Stephen King universe. So that part is kind of confirmed. But going into the whole series as a whole, I enjoyed it, but there are things about it I did not enjoy. They obviously during the time period they had to put the whole thing after segregation in there, which I understand. But at the same time, they had characters in here that they were trying to make pivot, and they didn't really do anything. Like with the whole thing with Ronnie and her father, they didn't do crap. They literally did not do anything. So I don't understand why people were giving them praise when it was like, bro, Ronnie didn't do crap except for complain 24/7 about her father, or complain about the group, or complain about people. She didn't do a damn thing. The only thing she did was the same thing as Will and Richie that came back, which was shocking because Halloran saw him returning as a spirit to help them put the dagger in as a pillar. That's the only thing Ronnie did. Just like Will, same thing with Will. Will had to really grow as a character and actually get praise from his father, even though his father was a hard ass because of him being a military man and also, of course, being a black man, and had to really show that you don't have to be like me, just be you. And he finally got praise from his father. But again, his father, the whole thing with the military, man, it just really got me to the point of y'all sons of guns think that you can control Pennywise. Like, what the hell are you smoking? Like, again, military gets involved, they don't know crap, they don't want to do anything, and they just want to cause more problems. Like the same thing with the general. It's like, bro, you saw this when you was a kid. Your friend slash love interest with this Native American woman, you could have, worked it out with her and worked against Pennywise and being able to stop him. But no, you wanted to control and you wanted to let it spread. So you were just stupid and you got what you got. Same thing with the other military guys. And then I feel like we lost a major opportunity with the Native American side because we got to see a little bit of it back then in the series, and also how they kind of used what came down to Earth to create Pennywise's cage. And I really do feel like they really messed up on that pivot point of the Native American side, because I wanted to know more about that rather than all the other stuff we got in the show. Because again, they showed the black spot, they showed all this other stuff because they really wanted to push against, ones not liking blacks in this town and all this other kind of stuff, which again, I knew they were going to probably do that because they wanted to push that. And again, there was just characters in here I just could not get behind. I couldn't get behind Will's mother. She was a very nosy, do good, let's show everybody the right way type of person. And then all of a sudden she wants to stay in the town when she wanted to leave so badly. It's like, woman, make up your damn mind. And again, you didn't do anything either. So it's like, what the hell are you going to do? You didn't do a damn thing. You didn't do a thing. Ronnie didn't do nothing. His dad didn't do nothing. And the only reason Ronnie's dad was screwing Ingrid is because Ingrid was using him. That's the only reason. That was the only reason. So she could use him to see Pennywise again. That was it. And if you think otherwise, you're stupid. I'm just going to say that now. You're stupid if you think otherwise. That Ingrid cared about anybody other than herself. She didn't care about Lily. And that and that poor girl, she went through a lot more than what people realize. She got picked on, she got bullied, she was in a insane asylum, she lost her father at a young age, and she still had to deal with everything. And honestly, it would not surprise me if she was the ancestor to Bill and Georgie. It would not surprise me at all. And it makes me wonder who Richie's father is. I think honestly, like I said, with the one that was... We pretty much got confirmation for about 3 to 4 families. That's going to be going into it, chapter 1 and 2. But overall, I think that the series has good points and its low points. Only problem is I feel like they focused on characters that were very much irrelevant to the story because they didn't provide anything. And before anyone says anything, you really got to look at it to see if they really provide anything, because Ronnie didn't provide that much other than just, along for the ride. And her father didn't do squat. He was just a pivot point for the story of like, oh, well, her daddy got wrongfully accused of this, and next thing you know, he's in jail. Now they got bail him out. Now he's on the run. That's literally it. Because if he didn't go to the black spot area, it probably wouldn't have happened. So Just saying. The whole thing with Richie's death, which again, or Rich's death, now we know where Richie gets his name from. I guarantee that's where he gets his name from. And honestly, I feel like at first, I felt like his death was very meaningless because there could have been a way where him and Marge could have gotten out rather than him sacrificing himself to keep her pinned down in the crate so that way he could save her. But him coming back really made up for it. But again, I still feel like his death was kind of meaningless to where he could still been alive. So I don't know. I felt like I gotta give a big hats off to Bill Skarsgård. I think that he did a fantastic job as Pennywise again, really showing how crazy manipulation and just demonic Pennywise is, and seeing how he was able to embody this character one more time and being able to really show what he was able to do, not just always go up against the Losers Club, but it was actually other characters that he could just rip apart because it felt like everybody could have died at this point. But again, I would say I didn't really have a favorite character in this. The main character that I really did like was Richard till he passed, and then that was really about it. All the other characters I was kind of like, eh. But now with the other side, like I said, the Native American side of the coin, I was really looking forward to seeing those characters to see exactly what they were going to more provide before the years of this events and also even after of what. Because you would think that, again, they were able to either stop Pennywise because of, again, he's powerful, yes, but at the same time, they knew about him for several years, and they could have stopped this if they wanted to. They could have warned the people of Derry. They could have said something. They could have done something, regardless of someone saying, oh, well, they're Native Americans, so no one's going to listen to them. Regardless, someone could have listened to them at some point, and maybe they did, and maybe they lost their lives. I don't know. But I'm looking forward to seeing if we get a Welcome to Derry Chapter 2. Maybe it's going to take place about a few years, however many years after this, or something else, or maybe we see Pennywise go back in time, check out the ancestors of these ones that stopped them. I have no idea. But overall, guys, what do you think of it? Welcome to Derry, the series. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you as always on the next one.